my concern with people who are a coach and they're really proud of their tough love approach is that I just think it's usually not the best approach. And, there are ways to deliver truthful statements that, have less than or deliver feedback that's not favorable. There might be areas where you have to say, hey, we really need to improve on this. You can deliver those truths without being abrasive. And if you look into some of the research on self-determination theory, that research would indicate that the abrasive approach probably is not doing a lot to support that athlete's success in the long term. So I find it a little bit amusing that there are a lot of people who are like, they're evidence-based coaches and they're proud of it. And they tell you all the time, I'm evidence-based. And they mock people for being out of step with the nutrition literature or the exercise literature, but their actual job is coaching, and they are fully out of step with the coaching literature. Like they are missing an entire field of science that would make them better at it.
Well, there is a more cynical interpretation.
Which is?
So when you say you think tough love isn't a good approach, the question you then need to ask yourself is a good approach for who? And is that going to be the optimal approach to improve the results for that particular client versus is that the optimal approach to improve the profitability of your coaching program? And I think that for some percentage of coaches, I don't think people are actually like sitting down and thinking through this, but I think that you maybe notice trends over time where clients who respond well to that tough love approach, where essentially what you're saying as a coach is like, hey, here's the decision you need to make, and that's 100% on you. And if you make this decision where you are going to do all of the things you need to do to reach your goals without me reminding you or without us having ongoing conversations about this stuff, you'll probably get good results and you're going to be a very low effort client for me. Versus, a more collaborative approach where there's more conversations that take place, more little trade-offs you talk about on a more frequent basis. That may improve the odds on a per client basis of client success, but it's also increasing the weekly workload per client. And so I think some percentage of coaches maybe subconsciously realize that tough love approach increases the size of a roster that they can maintain by weeding out people who are like truly driven and want to have success, but may take a little bit more effort for the coach to help them get there. But yeah, I mean, I agree with your statement that tough love may not be the best approach if maximizing per client odds of success is the endpoint you care about the most.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily know that is a true assumption for everyone all the time.
Well, that's because you didn't take the road to enlightenment. You have all that cynicism built up, and you're definitely correct. Unfortunately, but one day I will do a segment on self-determination theory and get more into the details. But when you look into that research, this whole tough love approach, usually you'll see things dichotomized sometimes as autonomy supporting behaviors of a coach versus controlling behaviors of a coach. Autonomy supporting behaviors are fantastic. They empower the client and really favorably impact a number of positive psychological outcomes. Controlling behaviors really chip away at the root of self-determination theory and leave clients in a position where their psychological needs are not being met and their long-term success is far less likely. So tough love kind of checks quite a few of the boxes for these controlling behaviors that, based on literally like all of the psychology research and the coaching research, can lead to some pretty unfavorable long-term outcomes and just really detract from the well-being and the enjoyment of the client.